fight Mike Shinfield.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's big fight time here at Bowlers. Ringside Promotions and our sponsors this evening, Geogoy.com, are proud to welcome you to an evening of championship boxing. The first title fight, ladies and gentlemen, is making its way to its ring now. Would you please welcome the challenger from Kilmarnock, Ian McLeod.
Well, it's a big opportunity tonight for Ian McLeod, who's brought 3 coachloads of fans from Ayrshire to see him in action tonight as he goes for the IBO's Super Featherweight title. It's only the 13th fight of McLeod's 8-year career, and the reason for that is that this fellow is a director of a company that makes window blinds, and he's already got enough money to drive his own Mercedes. He doesn't need boxing, but he's absolutely in love with the business.
So what's he doing here? He must be mad. But he is in love with the business. He's a good fighter, and this is a great opportunity for him.
Maybe he can give us a lift home afterwards in that Mercedes, whichever way it goes. But big breakthroughs for him, including a win over Mick O'Malley of Australia, who'd earlier broken Richard Everett's jaw, and that made McLeod the Commonwealth champion. It's all happening for him pretty late at 31, and this is another big opportunity tonight.
Oh, gentlemen, please, would you please now welcome to the ring the champion, Affif Djelti.
Is this the fittest 40-year-old in the world? Possibly. Defending the championship tonight, Affif Djelti from Rouen in France, who really upset the apple cart when he went to Carlisle in February and dethroned Charles Shepherd in front of his home fans, stopped him in 6 rounds, and it was a clever performance that night by Djelti.
It was a very clever performance and a good performance from Djelti, who really is a dark horse. You know, 40 years of age, I mean, it's a tremendous just to be here. It really is very, very good from him, and he is in tremendous condition.
But McLeod should start favourite, does in my book anyway. 9 years younger at 31. McLeod is the taller man, he has a slight reach advantage. They're both inside the 9 stone 4 pounds limit. Djelti a lot inside. McLeod has been in the paid rank since 1992, Djelti for a decade now. The Frenchman has had a lot more fights, boxed a lot more rounds, but McLeod is definitely the harder hitter of these two, as those knockout ratios at the bottom underline.
Oh, gentlemen, please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome live to viewers, live and exclusive on Sky Sports from our promoters this evening, Ringside Promotions, and our sponsors, Geogoy.com, to an evening of championship boxing here at Bowlers in Manchester. The first championship contest on this evening's program is a 12 3-minute round super featherweight contest for the IBO Super Featherweight Championship of the World. The officials for the contest, ladies and gentlemen, appointed by the IBO. The supervisor here at ringside is the president of the IBO, Mr. Ed Levine from the USA. The judges are Mr. Don O'Neill from the USA, Mr. Paul Thomas from England, and Mr. Peter Trematera from the USA. The referee in charge of the action, Mr. John Coyle from England, and the timekeeper is Mr. Barry Pinder from Sheffield. The contestants for the championship, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to introduce, in the blue corner, the challenger. He comes to the ring with a magnificent professional record, 11 wins and 1 draw from 12 contests, 8 of those wins coming inside the distance. He weighed 9 stones, 3 3/4 pounds. The challenger from Kilmarnock, Ian McLeod. And coming out of the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, with a professional record of 29 wins, 12 losses from 41 contests, 12 of those wins coming inside the distance. He scaled 9 stones and half a pound. From France, ladies and gentlemen, the IBO Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Affif Djelti. 12 3-minute rounds for the IBO Super Featherweight Championship of the World. And referee John Coyle will give his final instructions.
I've spoken to you both. I just wish you good luck, good sportsmanship. Bon chance. Seconds.
Oh, a natty line in French now from John Coyle, who, having proved the resilience of his chin against Mike Tyson last week, settles down for what should be a rather longer night's work here. Maybe, anyway.
Well, you'd certainly think so.
Certainly a drier night's work, that's for certain. We've got a roof on here. Tartan trunks then of 31-year-old Ian McLeod of Kilmarnock. And the yellow of the 40-year-old defending champion here, Affif Djelti, the city council worker from Rouen in France, where he supervises fitness work for the children in that town. And clearly keeps himself very fit himself. It was a very good win, though, that McLeod had over Mick O'Malley to become Commonwealth champion. Good display from him that night. If he can repeat it here, you'd think that it might be enough against Djelti. But Djelti's confidence could be soaring after that win over Charles Shepherd away from home in Carlisle. Previously, he'd lost on points to a couple of our top men, Barry Jones and Colin Dunn.
Well, Djelti was helped in the fight against Shepherd with his height and reach advantages. None of that here against the tall, rangy McLeod, who's a very good and sharp boxer.
McLeod, who's emerged from the obscurity of small hall shows in Scotland with breakthrough wins over O'Malley and earlier Patrick Gallagher. He got off the floor in the opening seconds of that fight to force a stoppage win. That was the win that turned his career around. Unbeaten McLeod, just one draw as the blemish on a 12-fight record. Robert Braddock it was that beat him.
Well, the thing that McLeod does lack is experience, and Djelti very, very knowledgeable, really been around, done an awful lot of rounds in his 41 fights, so could that be the key for him?
A couple of good body shots from McLeod. He's part of a resurgence of boxing in Scotland at the moment, and he was very upset about Mike Tyson's antics last week, which he felt discredited the sport, and I think most of us would concur with that.
Well, the tactics for McLeod, you would think, would be to use the sharp boxing in and out, use the speed and his range, and just pick up points like that, just settle into the fight behind the jab.
Djelti all the time looking for the counter punches, as he did to good effect against Shepherd. He's pretty knowing, quite wily, pretty long-armed as well, the Frenchman. He's got a bit of support here tonight. There are some fans with banners behind us. Nice doubling up on the jab from McLeod, who's been quite circumspect, but probably did enough just to nick the round. Welcome back. Quietish opening round. And I think Djelti did a little less than Scotland's Ian McLeod. There he is, John Coyle, on the front pages of all the newspapers, and having to take a left hook from Mike Tyson. Luckily for him, it didn't land cleanly.
No, he just ducked away from that one.
Good reflexes as well.
Yeah, on the blind side as well.
Second round here then. This is a talent-laden division at world level, with Floyd Mayweather, Diego Corrales, Joel Casamayor and Acelino Freitas, 4 top notches. This is one of the very junior championships, this IBO title, but it'll be a decent stepping stone. Djelti looking to lead off for the first time in the contest with his jab at the start of this second round. That may not suit him. I think Shepherd's style definitely did suit him, because Shepherd will come forward at you in straight lines all the time, and Djelti loved that.
Well, I think it's important for either one of these fighters to start making the first impression with the jab. They're both tall and rangy, and I think the jab's going to be an effective weapon. It's who can win the battle with that punch.
Let's hope it doesn't turn out to be too much of a chess match. Right over the top from McLeod, and a left as well.
But a good little uppercut going in from Djelti, who's just looking to try and force forward a bit more in this round.
What do you think McLeod's tactics should be here then, Glenn?
Well, I think he's got to use his jab in and out, lots of boxing, and just try and beat Djelti to the punch.
Nice work with the jab too by McLeod. If McLeod is going anywhere in the business, this is the sort of fight he's got to win, really. Djelti's useful, but this is a man with 12 defeats on his record, after all, and who is 40 years of age. Let's not forget that.
Well, there's a lot of punches missing. Neither one getting the accuracy with the jab. They're both trying to lead off and be first with that punch, but the accuracy not that good in this round.
Pretty circumspect, both of them. And a lot of punches hitting the night air. Hard to separate them there. Just to check on those major world champions at this weight, super featherweight, and some star-studded names there, though Floyd Mayweather seems to have lost the plot a bit lately. He's fallen out with his dad, he's fallen out with the TV companies. He's getting a bit big for his boots in playing.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think he's getting a bit big for his boots, maybe become a little bit too much of a star in his own mind. There's some great fights out there for either of them. Matchups, really exciting. It is a terrific division now, the super featherweight division.
Ian McLeod, the Commonwealth champion, and Michael Gomez, British champion. He's in action on Sky next weekend. Third round of this has been quiet so far for the IBO super featherweight championship. A decent fight, but not a genuine world championship fight by any stretch of the imagination. But a very handy one to win for either of them. Particularly McLeod is looking to go places.
Well, McLeod trying to force the action there, but still missing with his punches.
I think he's watched tapes of the Shepherd fight. He obviously has. and is aware of Djelti's penchant for counter-punching, which may make him just a bit cautious about being too gung-ho. And that, I'm afraid, is, at the moment, just producing something akin to a standoff.
Well, that was a nice three-punch combination from Djelti there, just getting up pretty quick with the left hook, right hand.
Blood from the nose of McLeod. Djelti growing in ambition. McLeod has to start applying some educated pressure. He's caught on the counter. Djelti loves that. What he must do is try to find some angles, maybe, McLeod, rather than coming in on the tram lines.
Well, he's getting more aggressive, Djelti. Just starting to find his range with that left hook, right hand. That's a couple of times that combination's worked.
He's had 2 reigns as French champion as well, Djelti, and put together a string of defences. He regained the title when he was 37.
It's time for me, I think, isn't it? Maybe not.
No. What are you now, then?
Yeah, I'm not telling you.
Well, it's got to that stage, is it?
Yeah, obviously getting on.
Good shots again from Djelti there. Not proving easy at the moment for McLeod. He's just struggling a little to work out the style of this Frenchman, who's got quite fast hands. Pumps in a couple of jabs as well. Growing in confidence, you fancy, Djelti. He's beginning to think that Britain's not a bad place to box. Heads bang together there.
Well, he's changed his tactics in this round, Djelti. He's not counter-punching. He's now looking to set the pace, lead off first with a jab, and that's worked for him in this round.
Yeah, he's been a bit more effective round to the Frenchman, I think. Chris McAdam is the trainer for Ian McLeod.
They're missing punches from McLeod. Good defensive work from Djelti, just showing his agility and good defensive skills. And they're getting off with that 3-punch combination. The left hook, right hand, and then leading off with the jab again. And that was the sort of combinations that was working so well, and just showing that he's getting his timing together now, Djelti. And look at that, good work with the jab. Much more purposeful from him.
Good round from Affif Djelti, who came in as a late substitute when he beat Charles Shepherd. Michel Bukori is the main corner man there. Here's the 4th round. Ian McLeod finding that the servants from Rouen are not quite so civil. Says something about Djelti, doesn't it, that he can bring fans all the way to Manchester on a Saturday night.
Yes, it's very good, and I'm sure he'd love to start getting some big fights in his hometown if he's brought out a good few here.
Doing more at the moment than McLeod, is just looking a little bemused.
Well, he's starting to catch McLeod, and McLeod's game plan is starting to fall apart. He just needs to regroup.
At the moment, Djelti's looking a bit too experienced for him, isn't he?
Yes, he's looking sharp and purposeful. He's looking to get off first, and maybe just a bit of confusion coming into McLeod's work. Needs to get his own boxing going.
McLeod isn't much really out of the novice stage as a professional. I mean, only 12 fights in 8 years. It's not many, is it?
Well, business must be good.
Well, I think it's the business commitments that have kept him out of the ring. Djelti looking quite dangerous with those fast left hooks. He's not got a great knockout record, though. Only 12 knockouts and his 29 wins. cracking together there. Be careful of that. Djelti, plenty of success with the left jab. The old stock weapon. Blood flowing a little more freely from the nose now of Ian McLeod of Kilmarnock.
Well, McLeod's got to try and get his jab working. He needs some success with that to try and put Djelti on the back foot.
Needs to do more, McLeod. Even at home. Well, nearly at home anyway. And the left hook from the Frenchman.
It's just picking his punches better, isn't he? Just finding the gaps. Looking at the more complete fighter at this stage.
Particularly with those jabs and hooks. And again, that's Djelti's round, I think, unless we're wearing blindfolds.
Live British Superbike action for you on Sunday afternoon, exclusively from Silverstone. Keith Ewan and the rest of the team, live Sunday afternoon from 1 o'clock, only on Sky Sports 1. Here in Manchester, 2 more big title fights later. Back to Glenn and Ian with the super featherweights first, though.
Yeah, Michael Brodie topping the bill tonight in what should be the fight before a World Championship chance for him, should he come through this evening, of course. Back to the 5th round of this one. The yellow trunks of the Frenchman Affif Djelti and Ian McLeod. It's proving a struggle for him so far in the tartan trunks. I don't know if that's a special McLeod family tartan, as the tartan trunks of Ken Buchanan used to be Buchanan tartan. Quite snazzy anyway.
A little cut on the bridge of the nose now appearing from McLeod.
He just needs to loosen up a little, doesn't he, generally? He looks as if he's a little stiff with the occasion for him.
Yes, well, I think that, the problem with inactivity is something there. Now he's in a bigger fight and, he's trying all too hard, and the occasion maybe just getting to him. Djelti much more used to being in this sort of fight, much calmer.
He's trying to get closer and see if he can brawl his way into the fight here, McLeod. Feeling maybe he has to take a gamble or two. But Djelti is pretty adept at catching fighters on the way in. A bit better than his raw record suggests of 29 wins and 12 defeats. Certainly at this kind of level anyway. Good left hook again from Djelti. Didn't land with either of those 2 punches that followed up, mind you.
He's getting McLeod on the run. A couple of good punches landing from Djelti, putting the pressure on now.
McLeod needs a round to try to just turn the tide at this stage. Good little right uppercut from him. There's a big risk of a damaging clash of heads, I'd say, the way these 2 styles are gelling. What would you say, Glenn?
Yes, there is. McLeod's trying to rough Djelti up now, trying to just take the play away from him, but Djelti still cool, still catching the punches on the gloves, looking for the counters.
he's trying to lift it here, McLeod. Oh, and the right hand from Djelti right on the bell. It wasn't after the bell, I didn't think. Well, what should they be saying in that corner, do you think, to McLeod?
Well, they've got to try and get him to be aggressive, but he's still got to use his boxing, try and keep the defense tighter. He's losing it a bit when he tries to throw his shots, and then he's caught with good punches on the counter. Just getting careless, recklessly trying to do things. Just needs to be more cautious. They're trying a shot wide open for a good left hook from Djelti.
Quite a lot missing, but not that left hand from Djelti at the end of that rally.
And that's the story of the fight. Djelti just finding the better punches. A good one right at the end there.
It was right on the bell, that one. Sixth round of this one. Also on the bill tonight, Michael Ayres and Wayne Rigby, which could be a memorable scrap at lightweight. Quite a significant fight. Check on the trunk colours for you. Frenchman in yellow. McLeod needs a big round, you fancy here.
Well, this fight could get down to who wants it more. They're very similar in height and reach and styles, but it's just who can keep the calm and who can show that bit more grit and determination.
McLeod showed against Mick O'Malley when he won the Commonwealth title in 6 rounds that he does have a bit of a dig. Can he find a punch to maybe really trouble Djelti, to get him going? 8 of McLeod's 11 victories have come via the early route. But at the moment, it's more a technical sort of boxing match, and Djelti has just looked that bit sharper in most of the exchanges so far. There hasn't been a lot in it, but the impression is the Frenchman is doing enough to nick the rounds. Oh, that's a good right hand from him. Just let his glove drop as they broke away, much as he did at the end of the previous round, and left himself open to the right hand.
Yes, I think that's the difference. Just, he's got a weaker defence, McLeod, and Djelti more knowledgeable finding him with it. That was a good right hand from McLeod, though.
It was probably his best punch of the fight so far. He needs more of them. To just unsettle this Frenchman, this elder statesman of the ring from Rouen. Needs to break his rhythm, put a dent in his confidence.
He's doing a bit better in this round, McLeod, but he needs more of it.
He tripled up on the jab there. And doubled up on it that time. Marked up with that cut around the bridge of the nose, but nothing serious. It's a bit of damage by the right eye, mind you, as well. Looking at it more closely, yeah, there is damage developing by the right eye from McLeod. And that does look as if it might be more serious.
Yes, that eye looks as if it's closing, looks quite raw.
So he's got all kinds of problems in there at the moment, Ian McLeod. Did he do enough to win that last round, do you think?
Well,
Glenn?
he did more, maybe not quite enough to win it. He needs to bring a bit more out. He's still getting caught. The sloppy defence is his main problem, and that's accounting for the eye damage and the nose damage. So he needs to tighten up a little bit. Some better work with the jab from McLeod. That was a good one from Djelti. That could well have given the damage to the eye. That was a good stiff left jab. See it better from this angle. Really does let that go, turns the shoulder. A nice powerful punch.
Mick Williamson, one of our best cut man, working in the corner there. And liberal amounts of grease being used there to try to stop that cut from becoming a major problem by the right eye. Into the second half of the fight for this IBO Super Featherweight Championship. McLeod with a very upright European style.
Well, I'm giving it to Djelti, just pulling away. And McLeod needs a big round, needs to stop stemming the flow of Djelti rounds.
Djelti working well with that jab, and he'll make a target of that damaged right eye, be sure of that.
Well, also that's a second-in punch, and that's hard for McLeod.
Who nearly then fell over an advertising hoarding that had been pushed into the ring by the press photographers on the far side. Could have done without that.
But it all just upsets the rhythm of McLeod, which, you know, he needs to get himself settled in there.
Lack of head movement and the upright style is making him easy to catch with the jab, and Djelti's just got some faster hands as well. This is another baddish round so far for McLeod, who's a bit desperate with that lunge there with the left hand. Can he somehow claw his way back here? It doesn't look promising for him at the moment, you'd have to say.
Well, I think what we're seeing now is McLeod's lack of experience beginning to tell.
Caught with the combination. Djelti giving him a boxing lesson at the moment in this round. Some of the rounds have been a little closer and maybe arguable, but not this one. This is Djelti all the way so far.
Yes, it's good concentration from Djelti, picking his punches well, and the boxing style of McLeod coming apart.
Because he just doesn't know enough after so few fights to be dealing with this cagey Frenchman who's had 41 contests to McLeod's 12. It's showing.
Yes, experience is such a major thing in boxing. You know, you really need the little tricks, the timing, the calmness, and this is what Djelti's showing.
He's in danger too of just getting a little dispirited and running out of ideas altogether, McLeod, at this stage. He's tried one or two things. He's tried to bustle up Djelti. That hasn't worked, and the Frenchman, you can see the confidence almost coursing through his veins now. That was a big round for Djelti, a very big round. McLeod, who's made a very good comeback in the last couple of years. It looked, frankly, as if he was a shot fighter, but he's in action tonight in another of these IBO Championship fights against Wayne Rigby, who's really up for this one, the former British champion. Two of our top lightweights in action. It ought to be a very good scrap, that. Here's round 8 of this one. Ian McLeod in the tartan trunks, looking to retrieve things here against Affif Djelti. He's behind, he must be behind on the cards, maybe by varying amounts. Glenn's got it by a bit more than me. I was maybe a little kind to McLeod and just gave him the 6, which was pretty close.
Yes, I've got him pulling away now, 4 points ahead for Djelti.
I have it by 2 for Djelti, which may be a little meagre on reflection. Much better accuracy. Now McLeod, what can he do? He's going to have to dig very deep here.
Well, I think that might well become McLeod's only chance to have a real effort. Just let everything go, let all the punches go. I don't know if he has the ability or the experience to pull it off over the course. He needs really just to try and upset the rhythm and take the fight to Djelti.
But I think that's just going to play into Djelti's hands. He loves counter-punching. Certainly has to try something. That was a good right hand from McLeod. That sent the sweat spraying from the head of Djelti. That might lift him a little.
Well, that's what he needs to do. He needs to get close. Don't give Djelti the room to counter and keep the punches going in.
I must say he's a credit to himself, this Affif Djelti, at 40 years of age, very competitive and obviously mightily well conditioned. He doesn't fight like a 40-year-old, does he?
No, he doesn't. Not many 40-year-olds are still fighting, but he's still in very good shape, still sharp, still fast.
Well, most of those that are still fighting are usually shells of their former selves, often sad relics, but Djelti is an exception.
But normally, you know, it's only the greats that can go on at this age and beyond that can still handle themselves. Even if they are relics, still handle themselves. They normally had to be pretty tremendous in their prime.
Ooh. Combination shots and he's down. McLeod goes down and he's hurt. Takes time to gather himself. Up with the count at about 7.5. Djelti's in again, he's looking to stop it here. McLeod trying to hold on, very bad moments. Body shot, left hook to the body. There are, 12 seconds left in the round. Mandatory 8 count. He gets a couple of extra seconds because the count had already got to 8. John Curl just got him through in a way there to the bell. There was a little confusion between timekeeper and referee. And that was all in McLeod's favour. He needed that bell, but he's in desperate trouble now.
Yes, he is. He didn't really look as if he wanted to go on. Tommy Gilmore in the corner was screaming at him to get up. And I think, you know, that his heart has gone out of it. You know, he's took quite a few punches over the last couple of rounds. There doesn't seem to be a way back for McLeod. And, you know, his spirit has gone there. I don't think he really wanted to continue.
Down twice in the round. Punches in bunches from Djelti. And then there's a body punch coming up and puts him away again for the second time. Here it goes. Bang. There it is. Was a minute long enough for Ian McLeod. Round 9, Djelti has a full 3 minutes now. Will he force the stoppage in this round? A little knot of fans who have travelled over from France like what they're seeing. It's a nasty shock for McLeod's fan club who have come down in the coaches from Scotland. Djelti's just known far too much, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. It's all getting very hard for McLeod now. Djelti, very experienced, will not want to rush things, take his time, just keep the steady pressure on.
Well, he was some late substitute, wasn't he? That they dredged up for poor old Charlie Shepherd back in February. And here he is now doing a number on another of our hopes in Ian McLeod.
I don't think there's much left in McLeod.
Legs are unsteady. John Curl, the referee, taking a pretty close look at McLeod at this stage, and it might take now just one unanswered barrage from the Frenchman to conclude the proceedings.
Well, his face is a bit of a mess now, McLeod, and I think the fight's gone out of him. Djelti just needs to apply the steady pressure.
The job looks to be all but done for Affif Djelti. just making certain that there's no moment of carelessness to allow McLeod one last jackpot punch.
Very little coming back from McLeod, very much in defensive mode now.
Djelti, bit by bit, trying to pick him up. But a good right hand from McLeod, and Djelti wants to cover up. That was a fine riposte by the Scotsman. Was it one last act of defiance? No, because there's a left hook. What about this from Ian McLeod? Very brave. Where has he dredged this up from?
Well, that's tremendous work from McLeod in desperation, having success with those punches.
It's a great effort, maybe born of desperation, but he's made Djelti think a little.
Well, he looked to have very little fight left in him, but those punches have just given him a bit of a lease of life.
Now, well done, Ian McLeod, who got through the round and actually got through with a couple of decent shots himself. Djelti's landed 151, McLeod 82, says the computer. Much better precision too from Djelti.
Well, it didn't look as if he had much left, but that good right hand just brought him back into the fight, give him another little chance. Got some power in that shot. Djelti just caught with his arm down, leaning away from the punch, left a big gap for McLeod to get that right hand in.
Would have been much more of a problem had he been leaning into it, obviously.
Yes, it would have been much harder if he'd walked onto it. But luckily for him, he was leaning away, but that also left a big gap.
Still think it was Djelti's round, don't you? He dominated it apart.
Definitely, it was only just a couple of punches from McLeod.
So here's round 10. McLeod on the floor twice in the 8th. If he was to somehow steal a victory from where he is in the fight now, it would be quite sensational.
Decent left hook counter there from Djelti. And a massive gap. I've got now 8 points in it with that 10-7 round in round 8.
And I've got it by 6 for Djelti now. So McLeod needs a stoppage. Again, the countering left hand from the Frenchman. Well, if McLeod does fail here, it'll be a big disappointment for the Tommy Gilmore team.
Well, he's trying to push forward bravely. McLeod having some success.
Again, the extra accuracy from Djelti. His defence is better. Well, he's better in nearly every department, isn't he, quite honestly?
Yes, he is. I think it's, you know, he just hasn't had the experience. McLeod needed more fights at this point.
Dropped his work rate off a little, Djelti, here. Still, though, picking the shots, left hand and the right. McLeod breathing more heavily, badly marked up around the face. He's had to show plenty of grit to get this far. They're just technically on different levels, aren't they?
Yes, they are. He's just a step up, Djelti. He just knows more about the game, more about the punches.
And there's loose bandage on the right glove of Affif Djelti.
Well, I think it just needs pulled off, just a bit of tape. They can cut that off, they can resume the action.
It's real Indian summer for this Affif Djelti. When he was an amateur, he'd only won 28 out of 55 with 4 KOs. It didn't promise much. It's all happening very, very late in his career. It's another Djelti round.
Well, some good counters in this round. There's the left hand. That's just where he's winning the fight. Better counters. You know, he knows so much more about the game. Can pick the shots. Even when McLeod's trying to apply some pressure, Djelti comes out of it the better. Again, good countering left and right.
He's clearly not ready for the bus pass yet, is he?
No, not quite yet. I think he might be ready for bus pass for a long time.
Well organised, that corner. He's coming here quite determined to hold on to this championship. It's an earner for him. 2 rounds to go. And Djelti's, well, what did I say? They were well organised in that corner. They're taking an eternity to get out. Now we can get on with round 11. Djelti in yellow. I've got him 7 points clear, and Glenn, you have it wider than that.
I have it 9 points clear with that 3 points in the 8th.
Oh, it's a big left hand from Djelti. Has to hold on. I fancy he was hurt a bit by that McLeod. He was. Needed to let his head clear. Tribute to his conditioning that he's still in there, I think, McLeod. Had to take a lot on his way here to his first defeat. Just that draw with Robert Braddock, blemishing his record so far. That was on his debut, but he's being introduced to a rather higher level than anything he's mixed with before here. Tending to walk onto punches in his eagerness to get forward, McLeod. There seems to be some damage now underneath the left eye as well for Ian McLeod. You do feel for him. This was destined, he hoped, to be such a big night for him, but it's going wrong. He just hasn't had any real answer to the accuracy and technical skills of Djelti. Is another right hand there. The gloves were down as it landed, and those legs look a bit unsteady to me. He was kind of falling around the ring rather than moving around it there, McLeod. Caught again. Not much coming back at the moment from McLeod.
Well, he's had to take a lot in the course of this fight, McLeod. And Djelti finishing strong. Good punches going in from him, and as you said, that the legs of McLeod looking unsteady again.
John Coyle, a referee for 30 years, bags of experience, the Wolverhampton official, and has to make a fine line decision here. It is a championship fight, and he'll want to let McLeod get to the final bell if he can, but there isn't a lot left, you sense.
Well, you can forgive the boss if he's not in for work tomorrow. He's took a good few punches in this one.
Gloves coming down low there. John Coyle, just for a moment, taking a close look. He's looking very, very closely indeed at Ian McLeod now. Won't want to let him take anything more, a single punch more than he has to. It's all Djelti, and it has been now for a long time. I think the corner ought to think about pulling him out.
Well, to be honest, you know, I wouldn't have argued if the referee had stopped the fight in the last round and just pulled him away. He's a mile behind on points, McLeod. It doesn't look as if he's got a way to do it. And you know, even if he stops, even if he doesn't take punches for 3 minutes, that's a lot of punches that he doesn't have to take.
And of course, they have to think about his career beyond this point, don't they? Because these become aging fights.
Oh, very much so. I mean, this is an aging fight for McLeod. He's took a lot of punches. He's been learned some big lessons in there technically about the game.
Whereas the years seem to be dropping off Djelti.
They do. He's getting younger by the minute.
Final round. They touch gloves. It's been a hard old night for Ian McLeod. He's shown a lot of grit. But I think the experience factor has been absolutely vital here. 12 fights in the paid ranks over 8 years were not enough to prepare Ian McLeod for this contest. Hard though he trained to get himself ready. There's no head movement. This jab keeps on jolting his head back all the time. But he still wants to come forward. He knows that the finishing tape is in sight now. And he might just go for one last spectacular gamble here, McLeod.
Well, he's picked himself up, and I think there's a point in the fight when he could well have thought about getting out. But, you know, he's bravely come through that and, you know, carried on.
No sign at all of Djelti slowing up or of his 40-year-old legs just catching up with him late in the fight, as you'd sometimes would think with these older fighters. And if he's making the kids of Rouen fitter and supervising their programs, there must be some pretty fit kids around that French town, I reckon. Well, he's going for it here a bit, McLeod. And he deserves all the credit in the world for that. His position on the scorecards must be hopeless by any sane interpretation of what we've witnessed.
Well, it's been a good performance from Djelti. He's kept his concentration well throughout this fight.
Tell you what, though, if McLeod does get through to the final bout, he'll have done very, very well. His legs seem to just betray him there, either that or he just slipped on something on the ring canvas. And Djelti looks now as if he's happy to just collect the points win. May have just tired a little himself in this final round. Again, there's a loose bandage, this time by the left glove.
Well, I think Djelti knows he's a mile ahead on points, and you know, he hasn't tried to pick it up that much in this round.
And he's badly busted up the face of McLeod. He'll be out of the ring for quite some time, and as Glenn says, he might not be back on the office Monday morning. Well, I wouldn't bet against it. It's all over. There's no doubt about who's won that contest. Everybody knows it. Affif Djelti has surely held on to his title here. Kisses the ring canvas and begins to think that visits to Britain are quite a good idea. I think he was a massive winner of that. 206 landed to 96, over double in Djelti's favour, though they threw, well, not much different, was it there? The difference, quite apart from the volume landed, was in the accuracy too. So I've got it by a 9-point margin. I wonder what the boys up in the studio, Paul Dempsey and Spencer Oliver, made of it all.
Decent effort from men with a combined age of 71, but Spencer Oliver, how did you read it?
I thought that it was a tremendous effort by both boys, especially McLeod, you know, only having his 13th fight. But we can't say, you know, he's been a pro 8 years now. It's just through business reasons he's been so inactive. But I thought that Djelti fought an excellent fight. He was leading off first. He was the one doing all the work. McLeod really needs to stamp his authority. I spoke to Tommy Gilmore before. He told me that's what he was going to do. Go out there, stamp his authority. He never done that, and he tried to counterpunch. He tried to counterpunch when really he was the one that needed to lead off first.
You just wonder whether Djelti might view this as the best performance of his career.
I think that is the best I've certainly seen. I've seen him against Barry Jones, Colin Dunn and Charles Shepherd, but this was by far the best I've seen him. He seems to have got a new lease of life at 40 years of age. It's amazing. It really is. You know, before this fight, you had to ask yourself the question, this 40-year-old man, he'd achieved what he wanted to achieve in winning the IBO title. Was that going to be enough? But he looks like he's gone up another level again.
Thank you, Spencer. He's enjoying his moment. Well done to McLeod. Sooner or later, he surely was going to be in a hard one. And in his 13th pro fight, it came. I think we're ready for the decision now.
Our gentlemen, please. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Paul Thomas scores the contest 115-112. Judge Peter Trematera scores the contest 114-112. Judge John O'Neill scores the contest 116-110, all for the winner and still the IBO Super Featherweight Champion of the world, Affif Djelti.
On a unanimous decision, Djelti is the winner, and I must say, those cards were surprisingly narrow.
Unbelievably narrow.
The IBO Super
I thought he skated it by miles.
Well, I had 9 points, the same as you, Ian. I thought he was a very, very clear winner. And really McLeod was just lucky to get through it. So that's amazing.
One of the judges had it by only 2 points, and Paul Thomas by just 3 points, the third by 6. Bit generous to McLeod. Djelti a good winner.
Sets a standard for the night, certainly.